If you feel drained at dawn, this is the strength you're missing. It's still dark, but you're already awake. The body got out of bed, but the soul seems to have stayed behind. The day hasn't even started, and the weight has already arrived. There's a type of tiredness that sleep doesn't cure. There is a burnout that doesn't come from an excess of tasks, but from a lack of alignment. It's when the eyes open, but the spirit is still bowed down. You didn't wake up feeling weak today by chance. You woke up sensitive to something that many ignore. The quietest battles begin before the sun rises. The word says that the Lord hears the voice in the morning, before the world speaks, before the demands start to scream, before fear tries to take hold. There is a strength that doesn't appear when you rush through the day. It manifests itself when you stop and present yourself before God. Father, at this moment, I stand before you not in haste, but with sincerity. I recognize that I woke up tired, and I'm not going to feign strength where there's only exhaustion. I'm not going to mask exhaustion with productivity. I will not call what is spiritual thirst routine. Today I confess, there are days when I wake up drained without understanding why. There are mornings when the body gets up, but hope takes a while to follow. There are times when the heart starts the day in survival mode. But now I remember, your mercies did not end last night. They didn't grow old because of my mistakes. They didn't end with my failures. They renew themselves. They stand up with me. They met me this morning. I reject the lie that I need to generate my own strength. I reject the pressure of having to get through the day based solely on who I am. I was not called to survive based on human effort. Today I return to the source. God, you are the one who gives strength to the weary, not to the strong. No to self-sufficiency, but to the weary who recognize their limitations. So I don't hide my fatigue. I place it before you. I declare that this morning will not be governed by the weight of yesterday. Failure has no power over my awakening. Anxiety doesn't dictate the rhythm of my day. Fear will not be the first voice I hear. Before any notification, before any news, before any external expectations, I choose to seek you. My soul seeks you early. Not because everything is fine, but because without you, nothing can stand. Today I align my inner self. I slow down my heart rate. I silence the voices that compete for attention. I recognize that morning tiredness is an invitation, not to give up, but to get back to the right place. Because when I start my day away from the source, I get exhausted quickly. But when I begin my day in your presence, something within me is reorganized. The strength I lacked wasn't energy, it was direction. It was a presence. It was intimacy. Therefore, I now hand over this start to the day, not as someone asking for momentary relief, but like someone choosing a new foundation. May my mind be renewed before it is put under pressure. May my spirit be strengthened before it is called upon. May my soul be satisfied before it is demanded of me. I cannot move forward without listening to you. I don't run without consulting you. I don't go into the day without acknowledging you. Today I don't just wake up to complete tasks. I wake up to align my heart. I wake up to remember who governs my life. I wake up to drink from a strength that cannot be bought, manufactured, or imitated. The strength that comes from the Lord. Here, at the start of this day, I stop, breath, and I trust. There's a subtle lie that tries to take hold when fatigue sets in. The idea that you are weak because you failed. The idea is that if you were truly aligned, you wouldn't feel this way. But the Bible never romanticized wear and tear. She revealed it. She exposed him. And he showed the way to restoration. Elijah defeated the prophets. He called down fire from heaven. He saw the impossible happen before his eyes. But soon after, he asked to die. It wasn't a lack of faith, it was exhaustion. He ran, he fought, he endured battles that no one saw. And when silence arrived, the body fell, the soul yielded, and the strength vanished. God did not rebuke him for being tired. God did not accuse him because he was weak. God didn't say, be strong. God made him sleep. God fed him. God found him at the breaking point. This reveals something profound. There are times when mature spirituality is no longer about doing more. It's recognizing that you've reached the end of yourself. David also visited this place. The man after God's own heart wrote psalms in which he confessed, my soul is downcast, my bones are wasting away, my heart is failing. He was the leader. He was in charge. But even so, there were days when I needed to tell my own soul, why are you downcast within me? David's strength did not doesn't begin when you overwork. It begins when you stray too far from the source. Daniel lived under constant pressure, hostile environment, daily risk, intense external expectations. Even so, he maintained a non-negotiable habit: squirrel, in the morning, the afternoon, at night. It wasn't religiosity, it was spiritual survival. He understood that an intense calling cannot be sustained by a superficial spiritual life. Today, many are tired not because they do too much, but because they do it alone. They try to bear the weight of the day without surrendering the government. They try to resolve spiritual battles with emotional strategies. They try to conquer the invisible with visible force alone. And that's tiring. Father, at this moment I acknowledge, I'm not the first to feel this way, and that doesn't embarrass me. I am no less spiritual because I am tired. I didn't lose authority because I woke up feeling weak. I didn't fail because I needed to stop. Today, I abandon comparison. I reject spiritualized guilt. I'll stop blaming myself for feeling what even chosen men have felt. But just like them, I also make a choice. I'm not going to stay on the ground. I don't turn tiredness into a home. I don't define my identity through burnout. I don't build my day from exhaustion. I learn from Elias. When strength fails, the Lord sustains. I learn from David. When my soul is heavy, I speak to God before listening to fear. I learn from Jesus. Before facing the crowds, I withdraw to align my heart. Today I don't move forward without repositioning my sources. If I've only been drinking from myself, I'll stop now. If I've been trying to be strong on my own, I'm backing down now. I return to the place of dependency, because spiritual strength is not continuous resistance, it's constant renewal. I declare that this day will not be sustained by what I achieve. It will be sustained by what God provides. The same God who strengthened Elijah in the desert, who renewed David in the cave, who lined up Jesus at dawn, it is God who finds me now. I don't need to prove anything today. I need to stay. And by remaining, something changes. The pressure decreases. The weight is redistributed. Clarity returns. The missing force wasn't courage. It was rest in God. Therefore, I accept this truth. I no longer run from the stress. I use it as a return signal. Today, I choose to live from the source and not from the reserve. Before we continue, I want you to stop for a few seconds. Don't move forward yet. There is a specific reason why you have arrived here in this prayer. God doesn't restore strength in a general way. He touches specific areas. So I ask you, honestly and without haste, what area of your life needs restoration today? Perhaps it's emotional strength, perhaps it's mental clarity, perhaps it's spiritual encouragement, perhaps it's peace in the heart, perhaps it's hope after a series of difficult days. Write in the comments a single word or short phrase describing what you are seeking intercession for this morning. It's not for display, it's for alignment. When you write, you acknowledge it. When you acknowledge it, you take a stand. And when you take a stand, something changes inside you. As you comment, this prayer becomes more than just something you heard. It becomes something you've accepted. Now with that clear intention in our hearts, we move forward. There comes a point when prayer ceases to be a refuge, and then it becomes management. Because simply acknowledging the tiredness isn't enough. It's not enough to understand where it comes from. We need to decide how the day will proceed from now on. Many people start their day by praying, but they quickly hand over control of the government's working hours to emergency services. They surrender their minds to the pressures. They set the pace according to external demands, and without realizing it, they lose again the strength they had just sought. Today, that changes. Today, you don't live reacting to what comes your way. You live in accordance with what has been established. The Lord promised to guide continually, not just in spiritual moments, not just in worship or silence, but in the actual flow of the day. This means that the strength you have received is not fragile. It was designed to support decisions, conversations, challenges, and pauses. Father, now I don't seek you just to feel better. I seek you so that I may walk better. I hand over my agenda before it controls me. I place before you every environment I will step into, every conversation that hasn't happened yet, every decision that tries to pressure me. Today, I am not carried away by the day. The day is set before you. I declare that this is the day the Lord has made. This means that it doesn't belong to chance. It doesn't belong to fear. It doesn't meet other people's expectations. guides me continually. When anxiety tries to anticipate problems, I remember, I don't need to carry tomorrow with me right now. When tiredness tries to return in the middle of the day, I'm not alarmed. I return to the place of dependency. Today I'm learning something essential. Spiritual strength also means knowing when to stop. I don't advance in everything. I'm moving forward with what matters. I don't answer everything. I respond with wisdom. I don't take on burdens that don't belong to me. I deliver what I was not called to carry. Lord, align my thoughts. Because misaligned decisions drain more energy than hard work. Align my words. Because aimless talking drains energy from the soul. Align my affections. Because trying to please everyone is a quick path to burnout. Today, I choose to trust. Not as a theory, but as a practice. I trust even when I don't understand everything. I trust when I don't control everything. I trust when I don't see immediate answers. Because trusting is also about resting. There is a prophetic vision concerning this day. It will not only be productive, it will be significant. It will not be marked by excess, but through discernment. It will not be governed by pressure, but because of presence. You don't need to prove anything today. You need to stay aligned. And when alignment rules, tasks get organized, the conflicts lose momentum, the decisions become clearer. Today, you are not walking alone. You can't hold everything with your own hands. You don't depend solely on your lucidity. The Lord guides you. The Lord sustains you. The Lord teaches you what is useful. Therefore, I prophesy concerning this day. Let there be clarity where there was confusion before. Let there be lightness where there was once weight. Let there be order where there was once haste. May each step be confirmed. Let every choice be carefully considered. Let every break be respected. The strength you sought this morning now walks with you. She didn't stay for the prayer. It became ingrained in their way of life. And so the day changes. Not because the challenges have disappeared, but why don't you confront them more out of alignment? There is a point in the day when the soul reveals the truth. It's not when everything is silent. That's when the demands start to pile up. That's where it becomes clear whether the power comes from the source or simply out of habit. Today, I'm going to ask you a question that doesn't require an answer to be spoken aloud, but it requires inner honesty. Where do you usually find strength when things get tough? Do you rush to solve everything on your own? Do you shut yourself off and endure it silently? Do you distract yourself so you don't feel? Or do you only return to God when everything has become too heavy? The truth is that many are not far from God because of rebellion. They are far away because they are distracted. They never stopped believing. They simply stopped staying. Jesus said, "Abide in me. Don't visit. Don't just occasionally look for it. Stay. Because strength doesn't flow in sporadic encounters. It flows continuously. Dad, right now, I stop everything I'm doing inside. I'll keep the justifications silent. I interrupted the spiritual haste, and I look at myself truthfully. I recognize that I often try to live my day connected only to my own capabilities. I recognize that I return to you when I am already exhausted, and not when I'm still aligned. Today, I don't just want to pick you up at the start of the day. I want to stay with him. I recognize that there is a thirst within me that no achievement can quench, an unease that no distraction can silence, a pressure that no human control can withstand. My soul thirsts for you, and I can no longer ignore this thirst. I have decided today to abandon emergency Christianity, the faith that only appears when everything falls apart, a prayer that is born only in despair. I choose a faith of permanence, constant, conscious, viva. Lord, teach me to recognize when I'm straying from the source, not after the strength runs out, but when the alignment starts to get lost. Teach me how to return quickly, adjust early, not letting the day take me away from you. Today I make a clear choice. I will no longer live disconnected during the day, waiting for a reunion at night. I include you in the breaks. I include you in simple decisions. I include you in the thoughts that no one else sees. Because staying still is not isolation, it's awareness. I don't need any more spiritual content. I need more presence. I don't need to hear any more truths. I need to live in alignment with them. And now, simply and truthfully, I tell you, I cannot endure this day without you, and I don't want to try anymore. If this prayer has spoken to you, if these words have translated something you feel but have never been able to express, stay on this path. Don't treat this as an isolated incident. Make it a habit, a daily choice, a place to return strength you seek is not in doing more, it's about staying better. And when you stay, something changes inside. Anxiety loses its voice. Guilt loses ground. Haste makes things difficult. You no longer live trying to reach God. You live from Him. Father, I come to this moment not as one seeking a fleeting spiritual effect, but like someone who decides to establish a foundation. I don't just want to start this day well, I want to stay well throughout it. Therefore, now before you, I surrender everything that I still try to control, the recurring concerns, the fears I don't verbalize, the pressures I carry in silence. I recognize that I have limitations. There are boundaries I cannot cross alone, and today, I don't try anymore. I rest in the truth that the Lord is the strength of my life, not a momentary force, not a temporary motivation, but constant support. I receive the strength that comes from your spirit within me, not to run away from challenges, but to face them with balance. It strengthens my mind when confusing thoughts try to take over, strengthens my heart when unstable emotions threaten to take over. It strengthens my will when discouragement tries to paralyze me. I do not declare an absence of struggles, I declare my presence of support. I'm not saying that everything will be easy. I affirm that I will not be alone. Today I am not walking in my own right. I walk in the right direction. If at any point today I feel my strength waning, that this should not be a cause for guilt, but a sign of return. Teach me to return as many times as necessary. Teach me not to insist on carrying what doesn't belong to me. Teach me to discern when stopping is wisdom. Father, protect my inner self. Don't let me get lost trying to please everyone and everything. May my identity not be drained by external expectations. May my peace not be negotiated for approval. I surrender my life once more to your rule. My decisions, my relationships, my pace, my future. I trust that the Lord works even when I don't see immediate results. I believe that growth is happening even in silence. I trust that daily faithfulness will bear fruit in due time. Today, I reject living under constant tension. I reject burnout as a lifestyle. I choose a walk sustained by grace. May my strength not come from comparison. May my security not depend on performance. May my stability come from communion. I go through this day with my heart aligned, with a guarded mind, with a strengthened spirit. Not because everything is resolved, but because I am surrendered, and this delivery changes everything.